SpongeBob and Patrick on their most perilous journey ever to a mysterious place that no sea creature has ever returned from. Mysterious place that no sea creature.
Okay, I appear to be live. Hello, everyone. My name is Jaxler, and this is the SpongeBob SquarePants movie video game. Alright, thank you all for joining me this afternoon. If you've never seen or heard of this game, well, nothing can really prepare you for what's about to unfold. This run is heard of this game. Well, nothing can really prepare you for what's about to unfold. This run is kind of insane. We're gonna be doing that a couple levels in. On top of that, before we get started, I'll just mention that I'm gonna be turning autosave off for the duration of the run. The reason that we're doing this is the game will try to autosave every time you collect one of the Goofy Goober tokens. So that causes a bit of lag, so in order to avoid that, we turn off autosave. So I'm about ready to go. So I think Jagachi was gonna pop in the call, but give me just 1 second. We should be ready to go in a bit.
Oh. You want me in the call? You want me in the call?
Oh, I thought you were gonna count me down. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay, man.
My bad.
I can do that. You
Okay.
ready?
Yep.
So 3, all right. 2, 1. So go. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. Thank you. Sorry about that. Alright, so popping into the first level here, no cheese. This serves as kind of the tutorial level for the game. Sort of just introducing us to all the basic mechanics. However, we're going to be doing a bunch of little skips throughout just to kind of speed things up. Right at the start, I'm going to avoid those box crate platforms by jumping up here and then pushing SpongeBob against the ledge. That tricks the game into giving SpongeBob his double jump back, and that's what I like to call the slope jump glitch. We'll talk about that a little bit more later, but for now we got another skip coming up right here. Sliding into that rock to build up just a little bit extra speed to clear the gap, and normally you're supposed to hit a button to lower that platform down. Saves around 15 seconds or so. Then we're going to use these crates to briefly go out of bounds, do a really tight jump here, and I should get a ledge grab. Nice, okay. So you see that a little discoloration over there? There's supposed to be some wall jump platforms that we're supposed to take, but skipping those saves around 20 seconds. And we're already at the end of the tutorial level here, but I'm going to go for something cheeky real quick. Okay, I missed it. Not a big deal. So what I went for there was what's called a token warp. Essentially what a token warp does is you pause within 2 frames of touching the token, and it lets you warp away and skip the token grab animation. So now we're in the second level with Patrick. I'm ready to depression, and if I can hit this. Alright, cool. We just skipped a quarter of the level. Using the slope jump glitch again there just to get up that ledge early. And now I'm gonna be, there we go. So I'm attempting a really tough glitch here called Chocolate Creek Early. Let me just hit this real quick. Nice, we got it first try. Wow, alright, that was really quick. So that went by really fast, so let me try to break that down. We did a really precise jump to get over to that cliff that you're not supposed to be able to access. And normally those buttons, you're not supposed to be able to hit until way later in the game when you get a new power-up called the Sonic Wave Guitar with SpongeBob. However, you can use the goo to damage boost yourself up there and grab the Goofy Goober token early, which saves not only a lot of time because it's faster to get there that way, but on top of that, it allows us to do this Goofy Goober token now. Normally the game intends for us to grab an extra token through the level's combat challenge. There's a bunch of bonus challenges in this game that you can get for extra tokens, some of which we'll be doing. And normally the Depression combat one is pretty fast, but only when you have upgraded power-ups. So doing that token now allows you to fit that Depression combat challenge later into the run and still unlock Patrick's first ability here. But right here, I'm luring them all to the left so I can hit them all with one swing. That activates a combo. Essentially what that means is if you break enemies and crates at the same time, you'll get bonus manliness points, and I'll explain a little bit more about that, but we're gonna grab another token here. I'm gonna try to set up for another token warp. And we hit it! Nice! Okay, so we're We're 1 for 2 on Token Wars right now. That's actually pretty good. 2-frame window trick. You could see... Ooh, I gotta upgrade cartwheel here in a sec. Alright, hold on a second. Normally I'll upgrade this much earlier. Don't worry about that. I'll explain that after this. We're gonna skip the other 3/4 of the level. If I can hit this. Please cooperate, Patrick. Thank you. It's not what I meant, buddy. Thank you. Alright, so... a lot just happened there as well. We did another slope jump to essentially get over that ledge. And the end of the level's just right there. Alright, so that went fairly well. Kind of chaos, but you know what? I'm a fan of chaos. So that's honestly one of the hardest levels in the run to get down when you're first learning the game. A bunch of really difficult tricks back to back there. So glad that went pretty well. So we're in the first driving level of the game, SD 101, or Sandwich Driving 101. We like to abbreviate them all a lot. So just get ready for a lot of speed jargon. I apologize in advance. So we're gonna do some unlicensed sandwich driving here. It essentially kind of rips off the same sort of speed strat as Mario Kart with its mushrooms. We're gonna be collecting a lot of these nitro power-ups in order to cut around certain portions of the track. And now I'm going to oh, which is the upgrade screen? Extras. Oh, we need another extra for that. Okay, never mind. Don't worry about it. I was about to go do the incentive, and then I realized we need another extra for the incentive. So, I apologize. Don't worry about it. My bad. Anyway, so I used those nitros there to cut that corner a bit tight. Going off terrain normally is really slow, so using those nitros there allows us to cut that corner really tight. So yeah, this level's pretty simple as far as the game's driving levels go. Pretty standard. Not really any huge skips or anything like that with some of the later ones, but what's really important that I work on here is my point count. So I didn't really get the chance to explain in the previous level because I hit the token warp. But you can see a point meter in the top right corner whenever I break people or crates. Basically, whenever I cause property damage, I get rewarded with toxic masculinity points. And essentially the way that works is once I reach the end of that meter, I get a new upgrade point. And you saw me put it into Patrick's cartwheel first. You're able to use them to upgrade either your maximum health for a character or to upgrade an attack. And so we're going to use that. We're trying to hit a very specific route with our points in order to upgrade Patrick's final ability, the throw, as soon as he unlocks it, which is going to enable us to do some really cool strats in later levels. However, to do that, it's a really tight point route. So I have to be very careful in this driving level to make sure I maximize every combo that I can that's not too out of the way, just to make sure that I maintain that point route. It used to be really trivial to hit it, but due to some recent routing changes, it's made some of the places where we would previously get points impossible to collect from, so been kind of interesting like that. That was a pretty good driving level. All right. And now we're going to be moving back onto a SpongeBob level here. I think I'm missing an extra for the donation incentive. We will back that up. Don't worry about it. This is going turtles all the way down right now. Yeah, we need another extra. I'm going to go out of my way to grab one for y'all. So, we get a new move here called the Bash. We're going to use it to do something really broken here. So I'm going to take intentional damage and then hold the Y button during the damage animation. And this will cause the game to buffer a bash input as soon as I come out of the damage animation. And that conserves all the knockback I get from touching the spikes, which lets us do these really cool jumps. Am I dead? No, I'm alive. Okay, cool. Alright, so, I'm going to go grab a... Ooh, I got a nice combo there. Okay, that's really good. I'm going to go grab a backup extra here. Because I forgot to go grab one in the driving level. So, my bad. Let's go take care of that real quick. Oops. There we go. Okay, so we got the Mermaid Man costume now. Thank you so much for donating for it. This should appear after I reload in the level. We also broke some extra... somehow we got a 30-point combo there, so I think we're fine on the point route. But I'm going to do a really cool skip here. You're supposed to break down one of the radio towers, but there's a ledge there that shouldn't exist. So, yeah, we just skip it entirely. And then right here we have some enemies coming up here, so I'm going to try to... Ooh, that was a... Oh, that's a perfect... Wow, we are super head on point route now. Okay. So I'm going to casually do another bash boost over to here. You're not supposed to be able to access that platform until you normally get over here casually. And then I'm going to try to go for something pretty here. I'm not trusting myself. So what I went for there was a 2-frame window trick called, we could just call it bounceless. If you pause within 2 frames of hitting the button, similar to a token warp, you can warp away after activating the challenge called Bouncy Bouncy, and it leaves the token out there for you to collect. Unfortunately, I think I missed it, so TS is telling me in chat that it worked. But obviously for a marathon, you don't really want to risk it. There's an obvious visual cue if you get it. There's a certain frame as well that will cause you not to have any audio or visual cues, which is annoying. But we're in a SpongeBob level right now. I'm trying to hit a very tight cycle here, so I'm going to focus just a tad here. Okay, there's the first part of the cycle, making the top of that block. And I got to be very careful right here. Too fast? Okay. This is going to be interesting. Okay, we made it work. This is the scuffed cycle. This is a little spooky. I'm probably going to play it a little more safe than I normally do. Yeah. And then I'm going to go for another token warp at the end right here. And we got another one. Dang, that's 2 in 1 run. That's really good. So you saw my token count go up. That's how you know that I hit a token warp. So each of the... Oh, there's the costume. Thank you all for donating, by the way. Okay, so bungee. Sorry, there's so much to explain. I got SpongeBob stuck underneath the bungee. Normally you have to wait for SpongeBob to rise all the way back up to bungee again. But if you get stuck underneath a target... Holy crap, I got another one. If you get stuck underneath the target... You can disable that limitation and do the bungee challenge really fast. So that's 2. Oh. Alright. I didn't know that was a thing that could happen. Tedious, can you please click that and post that in the Discord? That's gonna be really useful for 100%. Because now we can get that extra. But now we're gonna go out of bounds. Sorry, I have like no time to explain anything. So we're out of bounds now because the water is incredibly good at its job of being water. And we're jumping underneath the plane because the game is totally fine with us doing that. And we're actually accessing a challenge now from out of bounds, and I'm gonna do a set of bash boosts here around the outside. Oh, the spikes basically extend through the invisible wall. And then, yep, there we go. I clip back inbounds by getting a ledge grab on that rock. And now I can access this token that you normally get as Patrick. And we got that first try. That's really sick. Oh, it's already used. Okay, I thought that was, Oh gosh, I forgot to warp. I thought we were doing bounceless. Oops. Not a big deal. So doing that challenge in that way unlocks, the ability to warp to the challenge once you complete it. So we use that to, sequence break a little bit there. Alright, so this is a floating block challenge. These always feature Patrick, and you get to see me put to effective use Patrick's cartwheel move. It's not only attack, but it also increases his base movement speed by a fair bit. So this section is almost entirely movement, and really sick movement at that. My record on the stage is 302, and we think a 303 is possible, so just keep that in mind. I'm also working to make sure that I'm grounded for as much as possible, because Patrick can't start another cartwheel until his feet land on the ground. And then, but you can also, like, carry it off edges and stuff, so I'm just trying to optimize it kind of like that. Better seen than explained, if you will. Oop. Alright, rip 303 pace, but this should 302. So now we're entering psychedelic block land, so... And there we go, 3-2, really solid. So we basically grab every token in this level because we need it for a power-up later. So now we're just going to head to the end of the level. So I'm going to do another bash boost here. This is going to rocket me out of bounds. And normally there's an ambush, you can actually see it over there to my right, that you get launched into as part of the level. But we're just going to completely ignore it because I don't really care what this game has to say about my actions. Remember, folks, it's a video game. There are no consequences to your actions. And it's at a 3K. Pretty solid. And now we're going to be heading into Rub-a-Dub. This is the first of the sliding levels. Again here, it's really important, that we maintain an optimal point count, because we've got another power-up we're trying to unlock at the beginning of the next level. On top of that, because of the strat we're going to be doing coming up in this level, it actually it causes a bunch of enemies to not load in. So as a result, the point route is a lot tighter, because a lot of the, before we rerouted this category, we would kill a lot of enemies here to get some extra points, but because of the slight mishaps here, we're actually going to be doing just fine here on our point count. So this is the strat. It's called Dumb Jump. It's a big track skip, but we call it Dumb Jump because it's pretty dumb. You'll see why after I inevitably get it first try. Yeah, that didn't work. That's why it's dumb. So if you go too far to the left, it sniffs all of your momentum. Very tricky skip. So I'm gonna go for it again. Only cost me 15 seconds if I miss it, so it's not a heartbreaker by any means. There we go. If you jump too early, you also just don't get enough distance. It's really dumb. So I'm sure you can all see where we get the name from here, but yeah, things are looking real good so far. So if you don't get that first try, it actually causes the enemies to spawn incorrectly, so we're basically set for the rest of the run on point count, which is hilarious.
Did nobody bother to tell us if the train was still running around?
No worries. But we're going to be doing another strat up here. This one doesn't have a name because it's not nearly as dumb. We're going to be doing another track skip here. Just jump up here. And I got a 2-frame turnaround. So what I did there, really hard to hit because obviously it's a 2-frame window. If you're on a slide and you jump within 2 frames of touching the slide, the game will just halt all of your momentum. And normally that sounds really, really bad. However, we can use it in that spot to turn around on a dime and allow us to redirect our velocity in the other direction, which saves about a second or two. So I got that 1 second to try, so it only gave me about a half second. But you know, it's little things. But yeah, that's like a minor use of it. We're gonna break it really hard in the next level, so if you're a fan of large and kind of frankly ridiculous sequence breaks, you're in for a treat in this next level. We're coming up on the end of Rub-a-Dub here. Pretty heckin' good. Alright, so we're moving into another Patrick level called Bubble Blowing Baby Hunt. And you're not going to see much of this level right now. Later you will see much more of the level. But we're going to do something really crazy here. So we're going to get a new ability called the Slam here. Don't worry about it for right now. Oh, I'm sorry, I left my 360 controller on the desk, my bad. So we're going to grab an invisible ledge to that pipe, and now I'm going to focus here. Okay, we got it first try, cool. So what we did there is I did a series of 2-frame window jumps up that slide in order to climb up that slide to where the cutscene trigger is for the final fight of the level. And doing that allows you to trigger the final fight and basically trigger the end of the level. So yeah, there's the end of the level right there. So we just skipped most of the level. However, we are going to be coming back here later, much later into the run in order to collect a bunch more tokens because we ended up skipping a bunch of them. So yeah, apologies for the controller vibration. But now we get to chill with another driving level here after that really hype level. This is no mini parking anytime. Literally struggled to even call it by name because we only visit here once in this category. So the gimmick with this level is that there are 5 keys hidden throughout the map, and you need to collect all 5 keys in order to trigger the gate to open. However, the 5th key doesn't unlock until you've completed 3 laps of the track. So we're gonna actually be doing something a little bit interesting, in order to circumvent that a little bit, which is kind of cool. So one thing I didn't mention with the previous driving level is you're gonna see me avoiding ramps like the plague. For whatever reason, the paddy wagon kind of clips into them a little bit, so you lose a bunch of your speed going up a ramp. So if we can't avoid the ramp, I'm gonna be popping a nitro just to speed up the ramp as best I can. So just like that. And so we actually, so there's a ramp that's supposed to come down. You'll see what we call 5th key. It's the last key that you're in normal play able to get in the level. That one right there, the infamous 5th key of the level. A ramp is supposed to come down during the third, a ramp will come down during the 3rd lap. We actually discovered a way that from out of bounds, you can actually do a really insane launch to get the 5th key on like the 2nd lap. However, we timed it and it ended up being slower, which really sucks because the trick was super dope. But yeah, we're just going to save a bunch of nitros for right there because we got a big long straightaway. Nice bonk. Thank you, game. And we're just going to boost over another ramp here. Pretty straightforward so far. Too much to talk about. Again, I'm just making sure that I take my point route. We're actually going to be taking the shortcut. You know what? We're getting the extra 2. Screw it. So we take the shortcut here because it's a little bit faster. So we're coming up on the end of the level. You saw there's the ramp that's coming down here. It's actually just a giant propeller fan blade. You're gonna see me pop every nitro here towards the end. And the reason why we're doing this is, as soon as we grab the key, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna boost up the ramp, touch the key, and then warp straight back to Rub-a-Dub. And so what that does is, as soon as we grab all 5 keys, it sets a global flag telling the game that we've already completed the 5 keys challenge. And as a result, when we eventually come back there, when we load back into the level, it'll spawn us into the beginning of that map, but it'll unlock the gate for us, which also happens to be at the beginning of the level. So it just ends up being really convenient, and it saves a fair chunk of time to do that. So we're starting a backtrack segment right now. We're going back to Rub-a-Dub first because it's the fastest thing we can menu to. So I get my run back at dumb jump now. So let's hit this first try this time. Why not?
By the way, Patrick, when was the last time you took a bath?
Ooh, that was sus. And we got it. Alright, cool. I got my run back. Nice. So the reason that we're doing all of this backtracking now is actually really important for the point route. The way this game works is that as you go on further in the level, if you try to return to a previous level to collect manliness points, the game will actually give you a small penalty depending on how far back that level was in the game. So the game really wants to discourage you from manliness point grinding in older levels and easier levels. So as a result, we return to these levels now so that we can make sure that when we come through here, we get the most amount of manliness points possible. Every little bit counts. So that's the big reason we do the backtracking now. It's also nice as far as PB attempts go to get some of the backtracking out of the way first. Or rather, to also save the backtracking for as long as we can without losing time, so that we don't do a really hard segment after, we don't lose the run to a hard segment after backtracking. It's like, oh crap, I just backtracked, all for my run to just die. Should be looking at a 209, I think. Maybe a 210. Oh, nice, we got a 209. Cool. Not too bad. Didn't hit the 2-frame turnaround this time, but I'll take it. Alright, so we're going to be leaving there. Not much we're going to do there now. One of the side effects of doing Dumb Jump is that you don't break down key platforms. There's supposed to be a bunch of radio towers that you break. And there's certain key towers that you don't break down that cause you to be unable to complete the ring challenge. So now we can't actually 100% the game anymore, so oops. But don't worry about it. We're not 100% in the game in this speedrun. Thank God. Anyway. So we're coming back to SD 101 here, and we're going to be doing all of the bonus challenges for this level in order to stockpile some extra tokens. It's really important also to have all the tokens we need now, because if you try to unlock a new power-up without having the correct amount of tokens required, the game will actually spit you back out into a menu. And so as a result, we want to have 20 tokens by the time we get to SpongeBob's next power-up, so that we avoid that extra menu. So it's also really important that we get this backtracking out of the way now, as opposed to splitting it up. So yeah, again, even though looks really simple, I'm still trying to manage my manliness point count. Even though I've gotten really lucky with some of the enemy combos in 3K, I still have to be really conscientious of where my points are headed, because it probably means I'm going to go a bit riskier in other levels because I can compensate for the extra points I got. It's kind of a push-pull sort of deal with up points. So we don't have too much going on. It's not too different with these time challenges, same sort of nitro strat. We'll talk about the ring challenge when we get there, so figured now would be a good time to talk about the game's version differences. So, this game was released on 3 separate consoles. It came out on PS2, which most people probably played on. Then the GameCube version, which probably the next most amount of people played on. And then the original Xbox as well. We are currently performing this run on an original Xbox disc, which is being played on an Xbox 360. This is the fastest version hardware combination for the any percent category. The reason why is that this console has the fastest loading times out of any of them. Although what's interesting is that for the all tokens and 100% categories, it's actually faster to play on an original Xbox, and the reason why is that there are a bunch of extra driving levels that you do in the extended categories, and for whatever reason, driving is actually faster on the original Xbox hardware than on a 360. Probably something to do with the frame rate, but still really bizarre either way. So all of those extended categories get done on an original Xbox. Even funnier than that, the GameCube console has the second worst loads, then followed by PS2, and the GameCube can also soft lock on loading screens every now and then, which was really painful when I was first running this game. But yeah, it's really funny too, because the GameCube version actually has the fastest driving speed out of any of them. The IL record for this level in particular is like a sub 230, and you saw me get a 235 there, which I'm completely happy about. Which is so bizarre. Again, probably tied something to the frame rate. But yeah, really goofy how that ends up working out. So just kind of to briefly mention the ring challenge here. The Nitro route differs ever so slightly here because we can't take all the shortcuts that we went for in the previous level here. So my Nitro route is a little bit different as a result. But other than that, not too much going on. And then one other little thing that I should mention here. Because as we get further into the run and continue to play, the chance of this occurring is more likely, of what's called a texture glitch. So what ends up happening sometimes on the Xbox 360, because the Xbox 360 uses software emulation, so for reference, hardware emulation would be like the backwards compatible PS3s having a PS2 chipset, for example. And software emulation is when like Microsoft writes a program to emulate the console. That's kind of the difference I'm aiming for here. As a result of how they programmed their software emulation, because not, God forbid, not even Microsoft could understand how they built their original console. It turns out that this, running this game on a 360 will sometimes cause textures to swap around, which can lead to a bunch of really interesting and funny effects. I had SpongeBob and Patrick turn into demons. I've had my paddy wagon turn into the same texture as all these rings. I've had some really crazy stuff happen, so we haven't had any so far, but as we continue to load in levels again and again, it increases the chance of a texture swap happening. So I will point anything out if I see anything. But yeah, you can get some really insane ones, like, I had some of the fogger enemies turn into become just whale monsters. Like, it was kind of terrifying, honestly. Pretty shook, not gonna lie. Okay, I'm gonna skip that nitro for marathon safety. That angle was looking very sus, and if I miss one of these rings, I have to repeat the challenge again. There's a very famous clip of me missing the second to last ring on SD102. But yeah, our Discord group actually has an entire channel in it called Uncanny Valley that's dedicated to the best texture glitches. People just post their nightmare fuel in there, and it's amazing. We'll talk a little bit more about the Discord server a little bit later. But this kind of marks our transition, if you will, once we get past all this driving into the mid-game. After we do all this driving stuff, we've got, just to kind of preview, we've got a boss fight coming up. After we do finish up No Weenie Parking. And then we kind of transition into mid-game, which is honestly probably the hardest part of the run. Two really, really difficult platforming levels, along with a tough slide level, and then a series of 2 tough boss fights. So if you've liked what you've seen so far, don't go away, because I don't like to say the run's really about to begin, because you've been watching the run for about a half an hour now. Obviously it began a half an hour ago, but this is where the run really starts to kick into not only height, but also into difficulty as well. So look forward to that, but we get to chill here in SD102 for one more token. And we're doing really well on our point route as well, which is really nice from a marathon safety standpoint. I really don't have to take any risks. Normally what I do is I take some damage boosts to break some explosive crates in that hard slide level that I mentioned. But we don't have to do that now, because we're like... I normally don't expect to hit the point threshold until I enter that slide level, so we're way ahead. So, skies are blue on this beautiful April afternoon, which totally feels like moon. I should also mention that the driving levels have a dedicated honk button. I'm sorry I haven't been spamming that as much as I should have. Okay, we got the extra, not a big deal. That was the extra I was supposed to grab, not to lose a bunch of time. I have a habit of, in my PB attempts, avoiding the extras like a plague, because I think it's funny, because I'm really good at being funny. Gosh, I'm so funny. But yeah, that was the one I was supposed to get like 20 minutes ago. Sorry about that, by the way. Oops, sorry, my phone is having separation anxiety. I will shut that alarm off after I hit the cutscene. Oh, okay, game. Cool. Thank you. Really valued your input there, game. So I got the Phantom Bonk there. That happens, that's not the first time that's happened before. There's like a little piece of collision there that if you hit just the wrong day and if game hates you just enough, you'll all bonk there. And it's really hard to recover from. But yay, we get to take a break from driving. Woohoo! That was a lot of fun, wasn't it? We're big chilling now. Alright, so now that we're done doing our driving here, like I mentioned earlier, we're going to be warping back to the beginning, which is also the end of No Weenie Parking. You can actually hear the gate open right there, and we're just going to drive straight to the end of the level. Literally anyone can do this strat. It's kind of amazing. swap. What is that? I wasn't even ready for that one. Alright. So this is Mr. Moving on, this is Mr. Whiskers. We upgraded the cartwheel and the slam just for this fight. The cartwheel has an increased damage hitbox, so we use it there to hit Frogfish on its first vulnerable frame. And then I'm gonna chill right here. Now the boss is gonna stick its tongue through the ground. Don't ask me how that works. And then I'm gonna go for a quick kill here. Wrong button. I thought I was playing BFBB. Jeez Louise, game. Alright. Well, this fight is rather scuffed. But if you use the slam attack, the game just, okay, we got the quick kill. If you only use the slam, the boss will never return to the arena. So you can just keep him in that loop there. And, normally that looks a lot prettier, but I thought I was playing a different game there. So now we're going into Rock Slide now. This is probably my favorite slide level, in all honesty. It's got a lot of really cool skips going on, basically abusing the distinct lack of kill planes. To skip over pretty major portions of the track. If you remember this level from like a childhood or casual playthrough, you'll remember that it was quite a long and convoluted level, but we're going to make short work of it here, trust me. Starting off here, I'm just going to damage boost off this guy and lets me skip over the lava. Saves around 15 seconds.
I have trouble saying goodbye.
And then we're going to take an intended shortcut here. I know a lot of people saw this and tried to hit this casually. Actually kind of tricky to hit if you don't know what you're doing, so save some time there. Thank you, Heavy Iron. Thank you for supporting the speedrunning community that would come about not a decade later after this game was released. But we're going to be doing a little skip down over here. I don't think this is intended, but honestly it's been so long that I don't even remember how to play this level casually. I've been running this game for, like, I want to say 5 years now. It's been a... Jeez, I feel old now. Alright, anyway, we're gonna take an intended shortcut here. Not only is it faster, than the normal way, however, or on top of that, it's gonna let us, take our own little shortcut here. Gonna just pop down here. And there's no kill plane to stop us from doing this, so we just get to fall all the way down here. And, thank you, game. So something I like to do here, just to save a little bit on lag on 360, because it can be a little laggy sometimes, I like to hold the camera down to avoid the game having to draw those steam particles. Just kind of a superstitious thing more than anything. So normally I would break those barrels, but I'm being conservative with my health here for marathon safety. And then there's also another distinct lack of kill plane here, so I'm just going to hop over here, and the game really can't put up much of a fight. That's kind of a general theme of this level, and of this game in general. I'm going to do a bunch of things, and the game really doesn't pose much of a fight, except for a couple of the hard skips in this game, which coincidentally come up in like the next 2 levels. But that's like the sort of big gauntlet of tricks in this level. There's one more really big sequence break in this level that's coming up in like about like 45 seconds or so. Gonna skip a pretty big portion of the level. A little nervous about it, not gonna lie. Can cost me a little bit of time if I miss it, so a little bit spooky. So gonna brace myself, gonna in and out, positive mental attitude. I got this. I got this.
So many choices, so little time.
Alright, coming up on it here. The end of the level is over there. We're going to be skipping right over to it. Just after this tunnel here. So you're going to see me careen off the ledge. Don't worry, it's intended. Or, that's what I'm trying to do.
I think you mean air.
And we got it, okay. If you jump with a weird timing there, the slide will actually try to pull you along. And you'll hit the kill plane. That's like actually one instance where the game actually wants you to hit a kill plane, so... that looked really simple, but one of the scariest tricks in the whole level, so really happy that I hit that first try. Alright, so we're gonna hit exactly 20 Goofy Goober tokens here, which is exactly the amount that we need to unlock SpongeBob's next power-up, which is the Bubble Ball, or the Sponge Ball. Wrong game! I don't know why I've got BFBB on my mind. But this is Now That We're Men. I would argue this is the hardest level in the whole run. Very technical level in general. So we're gonna start off. I'm gonna immediately menu down to upgrade the Sponge Ball, because the upgraded Sponge Ball allows us to sort of ignore having to aim at all when it comes to these switches, and it also does a crud load of damage, and it's kind of self-explanatory how good it is. It has this area of effect and stuff. Huge priority that we get it upgraded as soon as possible. So right here, I'm gonna use the fact that that sign has a hitbox to skip some of the wall jumping and break that guy for some extra points, but we're on an amazing point route, so honestly kind of not even that necessary. This level's divided into two halves. The first half is kind of tame compared to how insane the second is, but I'm gonna do a small little platforming skip here. Okay, I got the ledge grab, that's fine. That skips having to activate a button, and I can just walk through that monster right there. Don't worry about it. Okay, so I went for a strat there where you chain buffering sponge bowls and bash boosts to gain speed down that slide, but the game likes to drop inputs there a lot, so it saves like a couple of seconds, not a big deal. But we got another bungee challenge here. This one is actually unique from all the others, and that you can actually break targets from below, which combined with the dive glitch is actually going to be really insane. If you're not careful there, you can actually clip through the map there, so you gotta be a little bit careful there. So we're gonna get a real quick token there. Yeah, it was pretty good. Thank you again for donating for the costume incentive, by the way. Kind of insane how quickly that got met. So I'm gonna kill this guy for his money. Don't worry about it. Also gonna break some electronic equipment for money. Also don't worry about it. SpongeBob may be dressed as a superhero, but he commits felonies in his quest to save Bikini Bottom. Again, don't worry about it. So right here, I'm gonna do another bash boost in order just to skip this wall jump segment here. Wall jumping is pretty slow, so I try to ignore it when all possible. Alright, gotta be real careful here. I remember a lot of people, including myself, casually got, like, stuck on that guy for, like, a half an hour. He's a complete jerk. Also, for this mini-boss, you can just walk straight up to him. The devs didn't impose any restriction here. He tries to attack you, but if you stand right here, he'll never hit you. So, that's a really well-designed mini-boss. So that's pretty great. And now we're moving on into the gauntlet, the second half of the level. 3 of what I would consider the hardest tricks in the run, including what I would also consider the hardest, just flat-out run, trick in the run. All sort of back-to-back. This level's just nuts. So we're going to start by turning straight around, and this door has collision on it for some reason. And there's normally this trampoline puzzle we have to do, move the trampolines around with the bubble bowl, but I don't care. So I'm just going to ignore it entirely with a precise jump. That's the easy trick. This is where the hard stuff comes in. There's a bunch of tokens here that I'm going to grab a bit earlier than intended. The first one being that token in the distance. Let me set up for this. Nice, first try. Okay, so what I did there was called a double bash boost. I essentially bash boosted from the lava and chained a bash boost off the head of that monster to get the distance to clear the gap. Alright, hold on a sec. Okay, that was unfortunate. So I'm going for another skip here called Monster Skip. This one's really hard. Okay, thanks, game. Ooh, I might be too late. Okay, third try. Nice, okay, so that's Monster Skip. Essentially what I did there is I bash boosted at a specific angle and height in order to hit a very small corner of that eye hitbox where I could get my double jump back but not take damage from the monster. It's a very small misplaced hitbox there, so getting that third try is really good. So now I'm going to be going for a frame perfect skip here in order to skip this entire floating block challenge. Let's see if I hit this. Okay. Like I said, this is a frame perfect trick, so I might be here for just a tad. This trick is bonkers hard. So I have to get a frame perfect input, a frame perfect jump on top of, okay, we got a third try. That's really solid. So what I did essentially was I jumped the exact frame that, Patrick stopped taking his damage animation. And what that did is, normally when you, after you take damage off of something and you try to jump, the game will take away your first jump. But for whatever reason, if you jump the first frame, the game can't take away your double jump in time, so you get both of your jumps back. So that was a really solid now that we're men. I'm very happy to have gotten that. Everything there went pretty smooth. So this is Shell City Dead Ahead. This was the level that we were really trying to focus on our point route for. To upgrade this move called the throw. And this allows us to charge up the throw and chuck objects really far away. But it's really important for the beginning of the level to set up for a really cool glitch. So while I was explaining that, I skipped a small cutscene there. Don't worry about it. And I'm going to skip an ambush here by climbing around a crud ton of invisible walls to grab that ledge and skip the toilet. That's called toilet skip. No. Shut up, Plankton. Alright, so I'm about to do a really cool magic trick, but first what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop here. He's going to stop so I can blow him up with those barrels. And then I'm going to blow him up here again, and then I'm going to chuck this crate at a wall, and something really magical is going to happen. Alright, so you see an explosion there. Whee! Nice, we got a, like, first try and a half. So that's the invisible crate glitch. I'll explain it in a little more detail later, but I threw a crate at a wall, and the collision didn't delete properly. So it just went, Patrick just gets sent flying into the air. Alright, so I'm taking intentional damage there to store momentum while going into this ice block here. This is called Cirque du Malaise Skip. It lets me hit a ledge up here to get out of bounds. And this lets me, move over to a much further point in the level, which is a pretty significant skip. So that was also really clean. Dang, this has been a really good start so far. I'm going over here in order to hit a invisible checkpoint trigger. What we're essentially doing here is backtracking ever so slightly. Uh-oh. Okay, this game is evil. Alright, hold on a second. Huge backup strats now. Marathon strats. Okay. Oh gosh, that's bad. Alright, now I gotta kill this guy too. Don't worry about it. So we're backtracking a little bit. There's a SpongeBob challenge in this level that we want to complete, but now's not a fast time in our route to do so. We're actually going to be coming back here later for some stuff. So what I'm going to do, is I'm actually going to backtrack over here, hit an invisible trigger for unlocking the warp, so that we can warp back here later. You're also supposed to grab a fruit right there in order to, platform up here, but the game developers left a convenient little platform there in the port ahead, character switcher. So I just get to make Plankton, shut up again. And now we're moving into the second half of the level. We've got a really iconic skip coming up, called 3 Meter Island Skip. You get to see the invisible crate glitch here again. For whatever reason, when you throw the invisible crate against the wall, it doesn't delete its collision properly, so that's what, causes you to glitch out when you stand on it. So I'm essentially getting myself stuck in the ceiling of this tube, and, repeatedly cartwheeling to build up speed. And then I'm just gonna, oh gosh. Okay, no choke, good. So normally, what I did there is a safety slash, I believe it's slightly faster. You can actually get yourself stuck in the ceiling there, and use that to, get up to the top of the tunnel, and then you still have to do one slide jump at the very top, at minimum, if you do it correctly. But that lets you skip the entire 3 Meter Island challenge and saves minutes. It's super sick. I also just skipped breaking another TV right there. Don't worry about it. You can just grab that ledge. And so we got another floating block challenge right here. There's a rare glitch that can occur here. Let's see if we get it. Oh, we didn't get it. That's unfortunate. So what I was looking for there is sometimes what can happen is sometimes the game will just fail to do like the gameplay mechanic where you slowly accelerate when you first land on ice. And if you do that, it obviously saves a... Oh gosh, dang it. Don't worry about that. It actually saves a fair bit of time when that happens, when that glitch occurs. We don't know what causes it, so it's kind of luck if you get it or not. If someone wants to tell us what causes that, please let us know in the Discord. That would be really amazing. Alright, so one mishap later, and we're going to be continuing on here. Again, mostly a movement section here, so not too much to talk about here. Deaths here are really punishing here, so I have to be really careful. You're also going to see me cartwheel on these bubbles, even though it's not really any faster. The reason why is that something that can happen, speaking of things occurring in the span of one frame, if you jump... and this makes a lot of the slide jumps you see that much more difficult, is if you jump within the first frame of touching any surface, it actually causes you to lose your second jump, and that includes just regular old surfaces too. So I cartwheel there in order to ensure that I touch the bubble for at least a frame, so I don't fall off the bubble. Alright, so one side effect is that door doesn't open until you break the TV, but you can just clip right past it anyway. I don't really care. And now we're gearing up for the end of the level here. Still some cool stuff I'm going to do. Instead of pushing this button, I'm just going to cartwheel on top of it. And there we go. You have to be careful there because it floats up and down. And I'm going to go for a tight cycle here. I'm going to hit that button and then aim for this cycle on this guy over here. Nice! I got that. That's really tight. Okay. So, those, turret bots will, move from left to right, and if you get there fast enough, you can actually snipe both buttons, before they can block it. And we're just gonna snipe the TV. And that's SCDA. That was really clean. Alright, so we got another boss fight up here, versus Dennis. This fight has a really cool quick kill, so I'm gonna focus for this, and then I'll explain what I did. Alright, let's improvise here. Oh, this is super scuffed. Okay. Okay, we got the quasi-kick quick kill. Okay. So, So what happened? What I attempted to go for there, that was really scuffed. What I did there is I essentially threw the watermelon at Dennis before he landed, and that causes him to take a hit, not only when he's airborne, but also when he touches down, which allows you to double hit him. So we used that to get a quick kill on him. So that was really scuffed, but I didn't die, which is the important part. So I only lost like 7 seconds or so off that fight. Okay, so this is Sunday driving. This is probably the most technical driving level in terms of where we place our nitros and sort of the level's gimmick as well. The gimmick here is that our boy Goofy Goober here is running around in front of us, and we have to chase after him. I think this is like the one level that doesn't reflect anything that happens in the movie too, so this is even funnier. So while Goofy Goober's out and about, if we fall too far behind him, it'll fail the level and we have to start over. And this mechanic was programmed in such a way where we can't actually hit certain intended shortcuts, which is really unfortunate. So what we're going to end up doing is I'm going to be stockpiling a ton of nitros here, and we're going to be attempting a strat to basically unload him from the level. And when he's unloaded, the game can't check whether or not you're too far behind him. So the game is just like, all right, you're close enough, and that lets us do a bunch of cool stuff. So a lot of this first lap is prep work for that. Yo, thanks Goofy Goober, homie. Oh gosh. Okay, well, rip a nitro. Those those gumballs actually home in on you. That's actually a thing. So you have to be really careful there. It's kind of hilarious. It's also kind of stupid. But don't worry about it. I'm gonna take this little shortcut here. I have to balance stockpiling nitros and using them to avoid taking damage here. So like I'm gonna pop one right here just to, of course, it takes some extra damage. Yo, Goober, thanks for the boost, homie. Beast. That was quite the beat. That was, wow, what a boost. So again, driving around the ramp because driving up ramps is slow. I'm a little low on nitros for my comfort, but that's fine. But yeah, basically, once we get back into the Weenie Hut Juniors over here. Oh, it's Goober World, never mind. Wrong part of the show. So I got 6 nitros here, so we're just gonna unload the nitrous oxide, or it's dinitrogen monoxide. I'm sorry, I took chemistry in high school. So we're gonna be unloading them all here. If we go fast enough here, which is almost always the case, this should unload Goofy Goober from the map. So yeah, we should be good here. Ow. Thanks, game. Really don't need your sass. Game has just been kind of sassing me today. Not a big deal. Not the end of the world by any stretch of the imagination. So, we also get to do a really cool unintended shortcut that normally the game will fail you on if you try to do it the first lap. But it's the 3rd lap now, and Goofy Goober doesn't really matter anymore. So I'm going to do it right here. I'm going to take a sharp turn into the green here and boost, and the game will just launch me over the railing. That saves a little bit of time there. Cool little shortcut right there. Ow. Jeez. This level has been very aggressive today. So, I always like to boost through the tunnel there as well, just to ensure that Goofy Goober stays deloaded. There's a water slide section over here that the game normally intends you to go through with Goofy Goober, and if you don't have Goofy Goober deloaded, it actually fails you if you don't take that path, and it's really slow, because, like most water slides, it's very difficult to accurately control yourself. So you gotta be a little careful there. But we don't have to worry about it. It's all good. And there we go. That was a really good Sunday driving. All right. So now we're moving on to googly eyes and smelly knickknacks. Probably the best name for a level I have ever seen. Very excellent level here. So this is the level where we finally get King Neptune's crown. We're going to be doing a bunch of cool little skips out here, just to save some additional time. I'm going to jump out here towards this extra, so we do have to collect another extra. But this allows me to get to this other faucet early. Normally you have to do this in well, you get that in the same loop, if you will, but yeah, just don't mind me, it's fast. So I'm taking intentional damage here. We're setting up for a Death Warp strat once we get to the second half of the level. Alright. So we got another faucet here, just taking the fastest path. I like to damage myself off the steam vent here because it's a little bit faster than taking an explosive barrel in most cases. We want to damage ourselves to 1 because we're taking a damage abuse up here. You can also drown as well, however, the drowning animation is a little bit slower. So I'm going to explode myself here, and it's going to warp me up to this section's checkpoint, which is actually closer to some of the targets we want to hit. So in this section, there's a bunch of targets that lower down some lamps. We're going to be hitting those kind of in a unique order here, with some really sick jumps and skips here. This is also a really sick slide level. Lots of creative ways you can take it here.
I wish this place had something to read.
But I'm gonna hit this target and then take a huge leap.
How we do things in Bikini Bottom.
Here we go. Gets over, just cuts a little bit of background, and we're gonna cut out a little bit of loop around here. You can kind of see it over there by doing this jump. And we're gonna hop over to this blue wire. So this is like not really the way that, not exactly the method the game intends for you to take. Gonna nab this guy. Oh heck, okay. Ooh, game wanted to be spooky there. Game is like being real, real sassy today. So I'm gonna attempt one last skip here. I'm gonna slow down here so I can jump up this lamp, and that avoids a cutscene. So that was really clean, actually. If you die there, you end up having to watch the cutscene, so it can be a little costly. But you know what? I'm cool enough. I'm gonna do it anyway. So yeah, that's GESK or GESK1. That was really solid, really clean. Yeah. Alright. Looking pretty solid so far. So we got another boss fight coming up. This is the rematch with Dennis on David Hasselhoff. So you may all remember this scene from the movie. We actually get to fight out we actually get to do this fight. But it's gonna look really cool. So I'm gonna abuse the lightning hitbox of the SpongeBob to do double hits on Dennis like we did with the previous fight. And there goes Dennis. That was really clean. Wow, oh wow, I actually golded that. So I'm actually keeping track of my splits right now, off screen. And I just got a gold on Dennis too. That's really incredible. Alright, so we're coming back to GESK 2 to do a little bit more backtracking. Normally I don't go for this, but I'm gonna go for a really cool strat called GESK 2 jumps. I'm gonna go for this once. Oh my gosh. Okay, Dream's dead. So what I attempted to do there was a really difficult strat where you do 2-frame slide jumps. I'm so mad for choking that. You do 2-frame slide jumps up that yellow tubing, and it gets you straight to the end of the first half of the level. I almost hit that in the marathon run. That would have been insane. I had to go for it for the people. But not the end of the world. We can still complete the level as normal. It's safe to attempt. So I'm not gonna go for it again in the Macho Time Challenge, because if you miss it, you will fail the time challenge. For the culture. So basically the same thing as the first time we were around here for the time challenges here, except we don't have to go and do the targets, so the Death Warp saves even more time here, which is really kind of neato. It is a little bit toasty in my room right now. I think I'm going to attempt to open my window during the next cutscene, so if you hear some noises, I apologize. I think that only cost us like 10 seconds even. $34's not bad. Okay, open the window! Oh, it's a beautiful... Oh, spending a beautiful Saturday afternoon inside. But that's okay. So ring challenge. This is the only slide level ring challenge that we're actually going to do in the game. One of which we kind of soft lock ourselves out of. The other is really slow because it's rock slide. The reason why this one's kind of interesting in particular because you can get a very rare glitch. I've never had it happen to me before. Some people it's happened to a lot. We don't really know what causes it. It's called fake ring. Sometimes you will just go through a ring and it won't work, and the ring just never works, and it fails the challenge for you. And you have to redo it, and it sucks. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But one of the cool things about these ring challenges is they kind of teach the player, like, how to go fast. Like, some of the rings guide you towards shortcuts, for example. Just kind of a cool little design thing that I find interesting and fascinating, because I'm someone who's really into game development as a field of study. Anyway, nerdiness aside, I'm just gonna be... It's a relatively self-explanatory level, so... I also like how this ring is just enormous. That's like the only ring in the game that's like that, just this one giant ring. It's just like, sup. Oh, big ring. Alright, and that's the last ring, so we're done with that. We got no fake rings, so that's good. So right now what we're doing is we're getting a bunch of tokens for, we need 40 to unlock the guitar, but that one doesn't matter as much, and I'll explain why. We need 50 tokens total to beat the game. The game has this sort of arbitrary restriction where you have to have 50 to access the second to last level in the final boss. Kinda sucks, but we're gonna do some really cool, a lot of the backtracking segments up till now have been pretty standard stuff. But now we're getting to some of the cool challenges that we skipped in previous levels, which is gonna be you're gonna see some really cool stuff coming up. We're kind of entered the late game, if you will, after Dennis 2. Mid game is by far like the hardest part of the run, but there's a lot of really unique routing and strat stuff coming up that you won't want to miss. But yeah, we're just big chilling here, big sliding. At this point in the run, I really don't have to worry about my point route anymore because we already have the last upgrade point that we need for the game. And I also choose not to upgrade anything else after this because it loses time. So, point route isn't really something I'm by any means worried about now. So. I'm also just talk about how sick this music is. This music's so dope. This entire game's soundtrack is just fantastic. $23, that's really good. That's what you're about looking for if you don't go for the guest jump. Alright, but now we're gonna actually be heading to the last major platforming level of the game straight away, which is Planktopolis. Really cool level. This is the only exception to the rule of trying to have all the tokens that we need for each next power-up. We're actually going to be chilling in this level for a bit to get some extra tokens here. Normally you need the guitar wave in order to access this level, but I'm going to do a bash into this button and then a precisely timed jump to activate the slope glitch to the side there, and that lets me get over the spike wall. So now we're going to go grab some tokens here to start. So I'm going to break down this wall. There's a bungee challenge here. Oh, that's bad. Don't worry about it. So this is the hardest bungee challenge. I'm trying to hit a very specific local cycle here, so let's see if I hit this. Oh gosh. Oh, this is interesting. Oh gosh. I might die here. Yeah, I'm gonna die. Okay, we're gonna try this again. What happened there is the cycle that I usually go for is dependent on those guys not shooting down any of the targets for me. So that was really scary. Alright, so this should be it. This should be the fast cycle. Just lets you break all the targets in one go. That was really clean. Other than, well, getting a second try. Don't worry about it! That's a lot harder than it looks. Even just hitting the quick cycle there takes a lot of practice. Oh, by the way, we're out of bounds. And then I'm gonna nudge SpongeBob into this corner, and he's just gonna clip back in bounds. Don't worry about it. So now right here, we're going to be switching to Patrick over here to get some extra Goofy Goober tokens. This is the only time we're going to use the Freezy Fruit for the entire run. We skipped all the other instances of using it in the game. So I'm going to toss this guy over here and head straight over here. And what I'm doing here is I'm activating the warp point for that combat challenge so that I can warp over there later. It's actually a little bit faster. Okay, I went for another token warp there, but I missed it. That one's really hard, so not a big deal. And now we're going to warp to the combat challenge. Extremely, extremely difficult token here. Oh my gosh, first try. Wow, amazing. Oh. Whew, I was really worried about that one. I'm not going to lie. That was really spooky. You can actually soft lock there if you're not careful, which is kind of funny. So now we're gonna do a really sick strat called Patrick out of bounds, because spoiler warning, we're going out of bounds with Patrick. I'm gonna jump on top of this door, grab a ledge, and now we're out of bounds. And now what we're gonna do is access a later token challenge from out of bounds, and this is gonna look really insane. So I'm gonna go around a lava plane there. Okay, and I'm gonna do a similar trick where I get my head stuck in the ceiling to continually jump and use the cartwheel to get extra speed. And this challenge you're supposed to normally activate and have it come out of the lava, but it's all loaded in beneath the map, so you can actually just grab the token from out of bounds, and it considers the challenge as completed and gives you the token. So now what we're gonna do is warp back to the beginning of the level and go unlock the Sonic Wave Guitar, and then we're gonna go do some more backtracking. Nice. Okay. So we have the Sonic Wave Guitar now. I'm gonna upgrade it now for this fight. This is a combat challenge. This is what I was talking about at the very beginning of the run that we skipped. So there's two ways to go about this combat sequence. There's staying towards the edge and just sniping people with the bowling ball. Or there's sticking to the middle and shooting at whoever's closest. And that's the strat I'm going to be going for because it's a little bit more risky, but it's much faster. And there we go, there's first phase. You'll see me backing off after the first phase, just so I can give myself a little bit of distance. You're also going to see me upgrade the guitar. At close range, the guitar wave actually has a huge area of effect. So if I'm in a situation where I'm cornered, you're going to see me use it to avoid danger. Just focusing a little bit because this fight is a little bit tricky to get down. This is an interesting fight right here. So yeah, you can see the guitar wave has a huge area of effect. Really useful in this fight. So we've got one more phase to go. So again, the reason why we waited so long to do this challenge is normally when you're intended to do this challenge, you only have SpongeBob's basic spin attack, and typically unupgraded too, so it's really slow. So yeah, this is. I'm sorry for the silence. I'm just trying to focus here. This doesn't look like much, but I'm actually. It's pretty intense. So I have to be really careful not to take too much damage. Okay, I'm gonna back off. Oh gosh. Shoot. Yeah, I gotta play it safe for the kids. I will not fail this for the kids. That would be devastating. Okay, we did it. Woo! Okay. That was a little spicy. Really glad I got through that without dying. That would have been slightly yikes if I died there, but... Alright. Alright, so that's one backtrack token we're going to get here. We're going to get one more here, so I'm going to warp as soon as I load in to do the Sonic Wave Guitar Challenge. These function as ring challenges, except they're with the Sonic Wave Guitar. So every time you go through a ring, it actually reactivates. Okay, there we go. So this one's pretty chill. We like to do all the Guitar Wave challenges because they're actually really fast, considering some of the other token options that we have, especially considering all the driving levels in this game. So yeah, we're big chilling here. The other big reason why I upgraded the Guitar Wave is the unupgraded version of the Guitar Wave has a really bad screeching sound effect on loop that plays when you use it. And I do not want to put you all through that noise, so I upgraded it early for y'all. You're welcome. Just trust me on that one. Sounds like this really awful Pearson guitar rip. Anyway, now we're gonna do a really cool backtrack here, back to Bubble Blowing Baby Hunt, or we're gonna go back to the Sonic Wave Guitar Challenge. So this challenge unlocks automatically as soon as you unlock the guitar. So as a result, it gives us a place to warp to, which is part of what makes this route fast. But we're gonna do the Guitar Wave Challenge now, and then after this, we're gonna do something really, really cool. Yeah, I'm also sorry for the motion blur effect on the Guitar Wave. That's something that's exclusive to the Xbox version. So I apologize. But yeah, we're big chillin' here. Big chillin'. As we continue to do these guitar challenges, they get increasingly harder, as you might guess, and some of these are just downright unfair, kind of expecting you to make turns that you have to essentially memorize the ring layout for, which I remember a lot of times, and especially when we get to the last Guitar Wave Challenge, which I think everyone hates, including myself. I think it's unfair. But a lot of these can be really tricky. But luckily for me, I've done this enough times where I know where every ring is going to be. So I guess I'll kind of start explaining the next trick we're going to do, because we're coming towards the end of the challenge here. So what we're going to do is a trick called guitar storage. So you saw that when I landed on the guitar platform that there's a text prompt to activate the challenge. So you can see it says press R to play the Sonic Wave Guitar Challenge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop off the platform, make it appear again, and I'm going to try to bowl and activate that at the same time, and that causes me to carry over this text box and walk around with it. This is fully functional too, so after just skipping a cutscene right over there, don't worry about it. That's actually a really tight one, I'm glad I hit that. So, this keeps this dialogue prompt up, and it actually still functions, so if I hit the R button, what will actually happen is it'll allow me to try the challenge again, and that has the cool property of allowing me to warp back to the Sonic Wave Guitar Challenge on demand. So we're going to start by using that here. Normally you're supposed to use Patrick's Slam to break this, so this is normally impassable. But activating the challenge while grabbing the ledge keeps us from warping away. But it okay, I gotta try this again. Tight jump. But it deloads the platform for the guitar challenge so we can get through it. There we go. Tighter jump than it looks. I'm going to cartwheel over here to activate another SpongeBob challenge. It's easier to warp over there and to go all the way over there just to hit the trigger for it. And then what I'm going to do here is activate this checkpoint and then immediately warp back. And so what this is going to allow me to do is I'm going to switch to SpongeBob. And then I can switch to SpongeBob and then death warps using some of the conveniently placed water over here. Okay, game, thank you. Really valued your input there. Can you please? There we go. So this allows us to access this area as SpongeBob, which we're not normally supposed to be able to do. So you may remember as a kid the throwing fruit electric challenge, which is supposed to be done with Patrick. But you can actually do it with SpongeBob with the upgraded Guitar Wave, and it just completely trivializes it. So what we're actually going to end up doing in this level is routing through the level backwards now. This is known as BBBH backwards. So we get the token there, and this activates the warp for the challenge. So what I'm going to do here is warp to the challenge we just completed. And when you warp to a challenge, the game defaults, if it's an overworld challenge, to whichever character is of primary focus. So in that case, it's Patrick. So that allows me to quickly swap back over to Patrick to make use of his cartwheel. Then I'm going to store the velocity from the slide over here just to get a little extra speed boost. And now we're going to backtrack through this lava room here. Cartwheel down here. And now we're going to go grab one more token before we do the SpongeBob challenge. You can do this with SpongeBob too. I don't remember which one is faster. I've just always done it with Patrick. But what we're gonna do is use the slam to stun these. Okay, we're good. He was nice. Thank you, game. We're gonna chuck this at the wall, and it hits the button through the wall. Let's just skip the entirety of Disco Star. This is a challenge I know a lot of people remember. It's like you have to avoid all these electrified disco panels. It's really funny. Really goofy little level, but we skip it entirely with this route. There's a couple of categories that don't use that trick and actually go through disco normally, just for some minor routing issues. I think 100% does not do it because there's some extras that they have to get that you can't get by doing the level backwards, so...
Vacuuming up manliness.
So yeah, we're in another SpongeBob segment now. There's like a task level cycle that you can hit here, but I'm not obviously going to go for it. So if you go here fast enough, you can get like around that block and make an early corkscrew cycle. It's like actually impossible and only saves a second. So I'm not at all concerned about it. And because this is a SpongeBob challenge, I'll be going for another token warp after this. That might have been it, but I think it was the ambiguous frame, so I decided to play it safe. Alright, so now we're heading back to Shell City Dead Ahead. And we are going to complete the last Sonic Wave Guitar Challenge. Now, if you played this game as a kid, this one was kind of infamous for being extremely difficult. This challenge is actually slightly exacerbated by the fact that we skipped several of breaking several TVs in this level. So as a result, some of the TVs are placed where the game expects TVs to not appear. So this challenge is actually going to be a little bit harder for me than most people playing casually, which is kind of hilarious. So I'm going to actually kind of be quiet here and focus because I really... choking on this level can kind of be time-consuming, so I just want to ensure that we get through this here, okay? It's like this TV, for example. It's just peeking out over the top. While we're at the easy part, I'm just going to mention this music is so good, too. All the game's music is so sick. I just like the atmosphere, you know? Yeah, honestly, I don't know how you're supposed to complete this challenge casually. There's so many of these that you just have to know are coming. There's no way you can react in time. Look at that! It's like the game is popping a quick time event. It's kind of ridiculous. I love this game to death, but this is one of the only major complaints I have about the game. And if you haven't played this game, by the way, you totally should. It's an amazing game. Highly recommend it. But yeah, we're coming towards the end of the challenge here. Game's just going to be an extra jerk and try to lower that platform on you. This is also another huge jerk move. The target's right there, making you think you can hit it, but you actually have to go around. It's so stupid. But yeah, we hit through the guitar challenge first try. That's hype. And then we're immediately going to warp over to the SpongeBob challenge. So like I said earlier, we grabbed the warp for it earlier because it's a little bit faster to warp over there. Than to go walk over there and do the challenge. Ooh, excuse me. Breakfast is not quite agreeing with me this morning. Alright, so, this one's fairly, straightforward as well. We gotta, chill out and wait for this one. I'm pretty sure it's impossible to make the early cycle for this, so we gotta wait here a bit. Oh gosh, okay. That's fine. No worries. Don't worry about it. Not the end of the world. try this one again. What I am essentially doing on all these corkscrews is trying to roll up them in order to gain some speed and jump over the gap so I don't have to wait. But I think I accidentally bonked into the fan there, which caused me to fall off.
Sponge gathers no barnacles.
Okay. I gotta be really careful here. This one's a bit scary. Okay. Should be yellow and then blue. And we're gonna do a little strat here, just skip the run around. Oh, and we hit a we hit a token warp. Let's go. All right, so by doing Patrick out of bounds, we actually unlock the warp point. So there's a giant portion of the level over there that's really long, and by doing Patrick out of bounds, we also unlock a warp that lets us just skip it entirely. So that's another big time saver. Kind of forgot to mention that. There was a lot to explain there. But now backtracking is over. So we're in Planktopolis part 2. I'm going to go for a swag strat here, just kind of show this glitch off. Alright, so this is a guitar glide. So I hit the guitar button while gliding. And it just lets you spin in midair and keep going. And you can use that in a lot of places for some really cool glitchy effects. But I just like to show that off for swag. I think it has one use in 100%. That saves like 5 seconds.
We're men.
Okay, there we go. So we're gonna activate a hidden SpongeBob challenge here. This one is by far the hardest and has the most tech in it. So hopefully I don't die. If I get this deathless, I'm probably saving time over my PB on this split. Oh, what the heck? Interesting. So we get to hear the ball sound for the entire time. That's interesting. So I'm gonna do a minor skip here, just bounce off the side of that propeller. Nice, that's really scary. And then I'm gonna do another early corkscrew jump here. What makes this level hard is it's just casually really difficult to complete.
These just ooze macho.
Ooh, that was close. Alright, I'm playing it safe here for marathon safety. Okay. I'm going like super baby strats here. I don't want to fall. Alright, there we go. We got a first try. Kind of sad that I didn't die there, but I died in the FCDA one, but don't worry, that's not a big deal. Oh, what the heck? It was a cruise boost! That's really funny. Okay, someone clip that. That's hilarious. Anyway, don't worry about it. So there's, this is Plankton's riddle. We're normally supposed to, like, hit these buttons, in order to, like, activate the way over here. But we're gonna do a strat called, Soup Skip, found by an old school runner named What Soup, in order to skip this entirely. And we got a first try. Easy clap. Okay. That was clean. So we just, jump, spin, jump, and it just lets us clear the gap and here, hit the wall jump early. Okay, nice death. Rip gold. Anyway. So, after I don't flub this time. I'm gonna check this out early. The upgraded bowl has a property where, it has like a chain lightning effect. So any enemies that walk near it while it's, rolling out will actually take some damage. So if you're playing 100%, you can use the guitar glide here to, guitar glide over to an extra that's hiding. Underwater lava, yeah, don't worry about it. Right here, I'm gonna jump over to the side, and what that does is it skips a trigger that causes a bunch of enemies to spawn in. That would normally shoot me, and it's really annoying, so it's kind of a speed and marathon safety deal. And then we're gonna be doing the last bash boost of the run right here. over to this center platform. This is normally a huge combat sequence, but you can just bash boost to the end platform and skip it entirely. Alright, so we got a mini-boss here. Oh, that missed. Interesting. Thank you, game. So it roars whenever you hit it successfully. That worked for some reason. And we should be getting a 3 cycle. That's fine. Alright, I got some slight time save off of my PB. So now we have all the Goofy Goober tokens that we need in order to finish the run. So we get one last driving level before we finish the game. This one is actually, it's really kind of a cool callback. It plays in reverse of the very first driving level of the run, except really much more difficult. So obviously the nitro count will look a little bit different, but there's not too much going on in this level. So the final boss fight of this game versus Neptune is actually really hype, and I kind of want to just give that as much attention as possible. So I kind of want to give some shoutouts during this level, because this is probably the best time to do so. So first of all, I want to shout out some of my homies in the SpongeBob movie speedrunning community. Some of them are in the chat right now. Shoutouts to Tedious, shoutouts to Chris the Fast, shoutouts to everyone in the Discord who has been working on this game, as well as shoutouts to the Discord group in general. We have a really cool little Discord community for this game. If you're interested in this game at all, you can find our Discord group on speedrun.com/TSSM. So the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, but abbreviated. We actually have a full, thorough tutorial there for anyone looking to pick up this category, as well as a Discord group. Like I said, we've got that Uncanny Valley channel where we post our best texture swaps. We only got like one really funny one this run. But it was pretty cursed, so I'm happy to at least get one good one this run. Yeah, if someone wouldn't mind linking it, I would really appreciate that. Just the leaderboard link. I wouldn't link, or either way. That would be great. We have a really great little community, and basically everyone who runs the game, except for like a couple people, are in the Discord. So if you're looking to pick up the run, there's a bunch of people there who would be more than willing to help you learn the run. Just gonna shout out a couple other people as well. Shout outs to Speedruns Rochester. They're some of my local speedrunning friends. You should go check them out. Yeah, also want to shout out Cole. He's kind of the godfather for this game. He discovered a lot, basically almost all of the strats that make this category what it is today. Without this run, without him, I wouldn't, a lot of people wouldn't have even picked up this game, and I wouldn't even be here, because he literally helped me learn the run through YouTube comments in like 2013. So huge shout outs to Cole for all the work he put in this game many years ago. So yeah, that's the end of the driving level. Like I said, not too big of a deal. And now we're coming on the final boss fight, which is King Neptune. This fight is super duper hype. It has really sick music. Dang, did you all get gnomed? I'm so sorry. Okay, so, knowing aside, the concept behind this fight is I'm trying really hard to not take damage. Neptune will try an attack that leaves him open and vulnerable after 3 cycles of his flamethrower. And if I take a hit, his flamethrower will his 3 attacks will reset. Or his 3 attack count will reset. So I have to be very careful not to take damage there, while getting as many of those tables as possible. So taking damage here can be really costly time-wise. So if I get this first phase damageless, I could actually like save time on my PB, which is kind of hype. But we got to do this fire phase one more time. I would strongly argue, and I think most people who run this game would agree, that this is the hardest fight in the the hardest phase of the entire fight. Right off the bat, just to go fast in. Okay. I may lose a little bit of time here. Yeah. So you want to get here before he shoots his first laser, but that's fine. Much less time consuming then. Alright, so now he's gonna shoot lasers at the floor, which is kind of the casual killer. But the thing of it is they only go out so far. So if you bait him to attacking in a certain position, you can just go walk away from it. And it's really easy to deal with. Someone asked if I had gotten a world record before, so I guess I'll kind of mention that. I do not have the world record. I've never had it, unfortunately. Maybe one day that'll change if I get good enough. But the world record is currently a 1:29:07 by Purple. Huge shoutouts to Purple as well, who's also put a lot of behind-the-scenes work into this game, mostly doing stuff like timing and stuff, along with like Tedious and Smiley Shirt. So shoutouts to them. Well, Smiley Shirt he might have done timing for Truth or Square. I might be getting my people mixed up. But anyway, shoutouts to everyone in this community. Everyone's a legend. Super cool, tight-knit community. Really great speedrunning community to get into. But yeah, now we're about to finish phase 2. So get ready to spam if you're subbed to me, if you're spam to me, spam Jaxler1. If you got FFZ enabled, spam only men play this. We're about to jam out to Goofy Goober Rock. So this fight is a lot of it gives a lot of people hell when they're learning it, but honestly the key to this fight is actually not dealing with the lobbers. You can actually bait them into attacking in certain places, so you can predict where they're going to vomit at you every time. And if you stand under them, they won't be able to hit you, so it's actually really simple to avoid. And every time like a cutscene occurs, it'll destroy whatever goo they're currently lobbing at you. So I use that property as well, in order to avoid taking damage. So yeah, just spam SpongeBob emotes. It's time is gonna come up soon. It's going to be on the final hit to once the final hit is dealt to your boy Neptune here. Alright, get ready on time. Time. Alright! Holy cow. So I'm reading a 1:35:20 on my life split. I was keeping track of my splits. That's really, really good. For a marathon run especially. For reference, my PB is a 1:31 low. So like even to get within 4 minutes of my PB is really, really good for a marathon. So that was really sick. We also came in 5 minutes under estimate. Hype. Let's go. That was great. So yeah, like I said, go check out the speedrun leaderboard page and the Discord as well. I've been Jaxler. Thank you so much to Boyx and the rest of the crew for having me on for another Valuethon. Always a blast working with them. They're an amazing group of people. Please follow the Twitch channel. Please donate to the cause. Save the kids, please. Been a really, really great time being a part of this marathon. So thank you so much for having me. If you're interested, you can find me on Twitch TV. I'm Jaxler1 on Twitch. I speedrun SpongeBob games, sometimes fast. So yeah, thank you so much for having me, everyone. I believe we have Kirby's Dream Land up next, if my memory serves me correct here. So that'll be a great run. Don't go away. We've got awesome runs following this up today. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm gonna hop off now. Have a great day.